Patch 9 is here and not much has changed. However, the small changes are now really bloody good. So, general things with the travel mode they introduced in the last patch, they've made it so it translates between maps, meaning that you go from region to region, it stays there. The minimum transparency is now 30%, and they also added it to the region map where you have a button and you can open it from there. The roads of Avalon have been quote-unquote fixed. I still need to check this out. Well, they did put a technical change in where they tried to resolve an issue with camp that were not upgrading along with the mob upgrades. What resulted was that the mob upgrades frequencies was decreased, as well as the chest being decreased. So now they fixed it by increasing both back to the levels they were meant to be, meaning that there should be higher value in the camps, and Avalonian mobs in the same mob camp will be the same tier of the upgraded camp, giving you much more rewards in terms of fame, silver, and loot. That is great to hear. Custom matches are now also being giving additional chat messages when the match is being created, when people sign up, yada yada. Crystal Arena's UI shows percentages up to 2 decimal places, and you have a confirmation UI when clicking to exit the Nightfall Abbey. Mobs reset and fully heal when a player mounts up during combat, which is bloody annoying, which means that cheesing crystal spiders is no longer really an option like we were doing earlier. And now let's get to the balance changes. Arcane staffs have been nerfed, with their great arcane staff time freeze having the mob immunity to consecutive casts being increased from 5 to 11 seconds. Player immunity stays the same, so it's still great for PvP. Axes have had an increase in damage for enemies that are closer to them from 45 to 65, and enemies away from them from 68 to 80 for rending spin. This applies to all axes. Same with Deadly Chop. Its time has been decreased from 0.7 to 0.35, and the cast time has been decreased by 0.1 of a second, and the energy from 10 to 8. Fire staffs have had their change. Be Blazing Staff, the Fire Tornado, increased an additional 2 dots after leaving the area, and the cooldown was reduced by 5 seconds, a mild buff, but a good one nonetheless. Well of Life for the Wild Staff has been weakened, while the healing ticks has now reduced to 5 ticks, and the healing per tick has been increased up to 55. Essentially, still get more or less the same amount of healing, but it is more condensed. I see this as a weak debuff to it, as it reduces the impact and you need to be more skillful, so it will be harder to use. Quarterstaffs, and this is where I'm very excited because I've been really into quarterstaffs recently, have been buffed, with their basic damage being increased by 10 for the first and second hit, and an additional 10 for the third hit, making them much more powerful in general. Spear Throw for the Heron Spear has also been buffed slightly. It deals 200 damage now, so that's great. I also like that spear a lot. War Gloves have been buffed for the Fists of Avalon, adding 2 additional meters per second in their speed. Minor buff, but again, I don't know why they got buffed. They're already incredibly powerful. The Helmet of Valor has a hit delay decreased by 0.1 of a second, and Fire Breath for Mage Crawl has had the hitbox size changed to be much closer and to have a faster expansion speed. I do not know exactly what this means, but hopefully it hits more effectively. Armor's Purging Shield for Mage Robe has been decreased by 5 seconds on its cooldown. Spade Caster for Scholar's Robe has had an additional decrease of cooldown for 5 seconds. Soldier's Armor has had the Fury stacks reduced from 10 to 8, and the damage per stacks increased from 7 to 9, meaning the max damage now is 72 compared to the 70% previously. The CC duration increase per stack is up by 1, and the max stays unchanged. Cooldown has been reduced also. Electric Field from overlapping Stalker Jacket no longer stacks, meaning that in the arena there's going to be a massive change in meta, as everyone was essentially going in with 5 Stalker Jackets and just bursting the enemy down. Swift Cut for Assassin's Shoes has been increased in speed with a 34 instead of 28 meters per second, meaning that characters pass through anything faster. And Vengeful Spirit for Demon Boots has been reworked. Before, the scaling was in a specific manner, and now they made it so the move speed is increased by 50%, damage by 10%. For every 20 health missing, you gain an additional 25% movement speed and 5% damage up to 3 stacks. Meaning that at max stack, you will be moving around 90% faster, and you get 20%, 25% increased damage. Cooldown has been reduced by 20 seconds. This means that the entire thing has been reworked significantly from how it was previously. Demon Boost will probably be much more used now and much more meta, so we'll see what happens there. With disarray changes, disarray level 1 threshold, 26 players has been reduced to 21. Subsequent disarray levels has been adjusted to 5 fewer players, meaning disarray level 2 has been reduced from 27 to 22. Crystal Arena and 5v5 Crystal League. At the start of the match now, players, since they cannot no longer ride mounts, get an 80% movement buff that lasts for 5 seconds. This is not purged, meaning that you can get to your objectives much faster. Then some general UI fixes where your zooming not working properly, character UI, yada yada, nothing really big. There was a time freeze that would negate damage immunity provided by Ice Block, Cleric Scroll, and this was meant to ignore crowd control immunity and being untouchable. So they fixed some of those. They also fixed internal bleeding of axes not showing when there's very low frame rates, meaning people would not necessarily know what they were doing. Siphoning mages are being able to use their ice block more, so be careful about that when you're clearing out those camps. And the hideout protection bubble does not break on the world interaction anymore. Hideouts can be entered instantly while hideout protection bubble is active, meaning that it is a little bit safer. Now, that is it, I believe. There are minor other changes, but these are the main changes. I think what we really should look out for this is changes in access, quarterstaffs, and in helmets. I believe the armor with the boots and the soldier's armor and the rest, it's the Road of Avalon. I'm really looking forward, so please let me know down in the comments below what you find in the Road of Avalon. Till then, thanks for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.